Today we're going to make some cherry muffins. I'm going to actually use my blueberry muffin recipe, but instead of blueberries, I'm going to use cherries. It's cherry season right now. I have neighbors who are bringing me bins of cherries all the time, so I got to use them up. So we're going to start with 3/4 of a cup of margarine, and I've just softened this in the microwave. So I want that to cream together well with my sugar. I have 1.5 cups of sugar. I'm going to start with my whipping beater just because I got quite a few liquids in here that I want to get mixing up well first. So I'm going to get my sugar and my margarine creaming together. And you may have to scrape the side of the bowl as it creeps up the side. Just want to make sure I'm getting all that mixing well together. And while this is mixing, I'm going to add in 3 eggs. And I'm going to scrape the side again because of course the sugar and the butter sticks to the side of the bowl. And you want all of this to get incorporated well. You want to mix this well because you don't want to have big lumps of butter in there. Alright, and then I'm going to add in 2¼ cups of milk. And I also have 3 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Just want to get these ones mixing in. I might have to scrape my side again. I still got those butters in there that are sticking on the bottom. I started with my whipping beater because I wanted to make sure that the liquids all got mixed well. And then I have a teaspoon of salt and 3 tablespoons of baking powder. I'll scrape my side one more time. Alright, so now I'm going to switch to my other beater because it's going to get thick with this dough. So I'm going to put in my K-beater. And I have 5 cups of flour, but I'm only going to put about half of it in first. Because I want to be able to mix in my either your blueberries or your cherries before the dough gets too heavy. So I'm going to start with mixing that. And then I'm going to get in some cherries. You can coat your cherries in some flour first, because sometimes they'll sink to the bottom of your dough if you don't coat them. So either your blueberries or your cherries, if you coat them, it helps them not all sink to the bottom. So I'm just going to put a little bit of that flour on there. Then I'm going to start to mix this, and then while it's mixing, I'm going to add in that last little bit of flour as well. So this is where the dough starts to get too heavy and your whipper beater would be a little bit too thin, too lightweight for it. You don't want to overmix your dough. You never want to overmix muffin dough. So I'm going to actually scrape the bottom and mix this last little bit by hand. But I'm going to clean off my beater here and get my counter ready, and then I'll show you mixing that last little bit by hand. We'll just stop the video first so that we can get this out of the way. Alright, as you probably noticed, I pitted my cherries and I chopped them up probably in quarters or sixths so that they're not such big chunks. Just making sure I get to the bottom, but you don't want to overmix muffin dough. All right, so that's pretty good. I don't have too many big wet spots or floury spots, so that should be good. All right, so I sprayed my muffin tins. If you don't want to spray them, you can line them with the muffin, like the paper cups that you can get. And these muffins, because there's so much baking powder in, they do rise up quite a bit. So I don't think I'm going to use my big muffin scoop. I'm going to use my 2-inch one. My 2.5 might be a little bit big. I'm going to just see how far this goes, and I'll show you what they look like, how big they get if I use my 2-inch one. So I'm going to put these in the oven at 375 degrees. I'll check them at the 20-minute mark. I have a feeling they're going to need a little bit longer. Muffins often need about 25 minutes. So we're going to get these in the oven, and I will show you what they look like at the 20-minute mark and then when they're done. A little bit of dough left after I did my 24, so I'm just topping up my muffin tins a little bit just because I don't want to pull out another muffin tray just for a couple muffins. So just topping them up a little bit with what little bit was left in my bowl, but it's still less than the 2.5-inch scoop. So just play it by ear, and then we're going to get these in the oven. All right, we're at 20 minutes. I'm going to give them a few more minutes though, because I would like them to be more golden. These are still quite light, so I'll probably end up hitting the 25-minute mark. All right, 25 minutes is perfect. They're baked all the way through, a little bit golden on the top. So give these cherry muffins a try. You can also do blueberry muffins in place of the cherries.